almost every time I was in my shop and stocking before I was open, I had people knocking on my doors. Like there was a time at 10 p.m. there was someone knocking on my door while I was setting up and saying how excited they were for this business and how there's not a lot of shopping retail places in Harrisburg specifically.
Yeah, downtown's missing a lot of that retail side.
Yeah, and you go to like Lancaster City or even like Gettysburg, and there's small businesses everywhere. I think what we really need is the foot traffic, and a barrier to that right now is the parking.
Welcome back to the Lead Lamp Podcast. This is Brett Wiley. I'm here with Ash, the owner of The Plant Witch in Harrisburg. You're at Strawberry Square, which is kind of a center hub of everything going on in Harrisburg. So thank you for coming on our podcast. How about you walk us through just The Plant Witch, what you're doing? I know you opened in August, so you're kind of finding your way in a new location, new business, but kind of just give us a summary of what you have going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I opened up The Plant Witch. Our grand opening was August 30th. Okay. So still really new. Super grateful to be there, especially at the location that I'm in. I'm really able to see just like all the different perspectives of Harrisburg. It being the capital of Pennsylvania, there's a lot of different people in there, a lot of different personalities. But everybody loves plants. And I'm really passionate about sustainability. That's definitely like a focus of my business and what got me started.
Yeah. So we'll touch on the Harrisburg, like the diverseness of Harrisburg. Real quick though. So you do have a crazy mix. Before we started the show, I remember I mentioned, we had a family business in Strawberry Square.
Yeah.
Way back, like eons ago. I was a kid, so I can't say I was part of that other than just running around the shop. But you do see just a broad mix of people. You have businessmen there. You have the Capitol, the people who work at the Capitol building. So you have a bunch of government workers there.
Yeah.
And then you have a lot of other small business owners and people just in town. So it's kind of the whole gamut of anyone you could have in a pretty tight area in Harrisburg there.
Yeah, absolutely. The way I actually found my location, I went out for breakfast at Au Bon Lait, a creperie right down the street. And I was exploring the idea of selling houseplants and metaphysical items, but I had no intention of opening up a physical business. We ate our crepes. They were delicious. We were super impressed by the bike lane that's right in front of the shop, right in front of where we were eating, and how much traffic there was there of people walking and not so much cars. I had the opportunity to take 2 trips to Europe last year and was blown away by the public transportation and the amount of small businesses prioritized over big companies. So much so that I wanted to move there. And when we came out to eat at this location and saw a couple small businesses along here, I walked past the shop that I'm now in, and something just called me in there. I was peeking in the windows, and never have I ever looked in a commercial space and wondered, what's the rent here?
Yeah.
But there was a phone number on the door, and we called it, and now I'm there.
So did you start? Now, this is interesting. So you started more with the idea of, I want to be in that commercial space. Did you already have an idea of what you would do when you had it? Like you had a seed of an idea before you're like, I got to call that number.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
And I love that you called it a seed, because the seed was my houseplant.
It was not intentional.
Yeah.
Just what first word that came to mind.
That way.
But so you already, before you did that, you already kind of had this idea generating where you're like, this is what I want to do. Like, this is kind of the core of what I would do if I had a business.
Yeah. So I was collecting houseplants and pots, mainly from like thrifting, like Goodwill stores and Facebook Marketplace. I thought that was really cool. I mean, I don't know if you've gone in a thrift store lately or a Goodwill, but these places are packed, and there's so many items that are brand new. And I think it's so unfortunate that we keep buying all these brand new things and then just throwing it into these thrift stores and not using it. So the heart of what my plan was to get those things, you know, out of sitting in those spaces collecting dust, also supporting my neighbors through Facebook Marketplace, which you have to be careful.
Yes.
I fully acknowledge that. And I'm really lucky that I've had mostly good experiences. But my mission was to make those items look beautiful and to get people to realize that you don't have to pay full price, especially in this economy. It's difficult.
Yeah. You don't have to buy new. Like there's plenty of great used items or not even used.
Yeah.
Like someone bought it, sits in their basement of their house for a year or two. They don't need it. They get rid of it at a thrift store, or they're just getting rid of it on Marketplace.
Yeah.
And it's like brand new items.
Actually, that's how I acquired pretty much my entire crystal and stone collection. Was mainly from two businesses. They had online businesses which thrived during COVID because people were obviously not able to go to physical locations.
Right.
Both of those people that had their businesses, they both just had families that got a little too busy and couldn't do it anymore. So especially when we talk about something like crystals, it's so important for it to be sourced ethically. And you got to think, like, once we take that, that's gone. Like we keep taking and taking.
Out of the earth now.
Right. Yeah. And especially like how it's gotten there is so important. But on my end, I was able to purchase the entire inventory from those small businesses, which puts money back in their pockets. You know, that's a huge relief. It was something that was great for them at the time, but now they have this sitting here. They're brand new crystals. And now they get to serve a better purpose. Than just sitting and collecting dust. And they look beautiful in my shop.
Yeah.
And they'll look beautiful in my customers' homes.
Definitely. So now let's take another step back. So you have the space.
Yes.
You have a business idea. You're moving in. Prior to that, did you envision yourself like being a business owner eventually? Or is that something you've always kind of wanted to do? Or did you have experience with that in the past, like the retail side of it? Or is it just was like, you know what, we're going to figure it out and we're just going to go in?
Oh my goodness. That's such a good question. I never saw myself as a business owner, but I did have these experiences where I would visit these small businesses and was just like, I couldn't put a finger on what it was for the longest time. But what it was is I was so jealous of that freedom to be so authentic to who you are, not working for these bigger corporations. So it was brand new for me. I've never worked in retail at all. I've worked customer service a ton.
Which is so, it's a learning experience. We'll keep it that way. You'll learn a lot when you're doing customer service.
Absolutely. I mainly worked in the food service end of customer service too. And when people are hungry and, you know, I get it. We're here to, you know, feed you. But yeah, so this is brand new for me.
Yeah.
Totally.
Hey, and you went in, it seems like with, you know, no holds barred. You're just like, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're going to fast forward a little bit. You're in your shop. You have, obviously, your lease is secured. You're moving inventory in. You're open for business. Kind of walk us through, because you're still very new in business. Like, walk us through those first few moments where you're like, all right, I put my sign out front. We're open. Kind of, was it what you expected when you first opened, or is it more or less than you expected when you were beginning? And I'm not talking about sales or whatever. I'm just saying like the feeling of like, doors are open. Here we go. And you're just sitting there waiting for your first customer, basically. Yeah.
I'm actually going to take a couple steps back from that. And almost every time I was in my shop and stocking before I was open, I had people knocking on my doors. Like there was a time at 10 p.m. there was someone knocking on my door while I was setting up and saying how excited they were for this business and how there's not a lot of shopping retail places in Harrisburg specifically.
Yeah, downtown's missing that retail, a lot of that retail side.
Yeah, and you go to like Lancaster City, or even like Gettysburg, and there's small businesses everywhere. I think what we really need is the foot traffic, and a barrier to that right now is the parking.
Yeah.
In Harrisburg, it's so expensive. I often park at City Island and walk over, which I think is beautiful. And parking at City Island is usually free if you're only there for a couple hours. But yeah, I'm super excited to be here. People were very excited for the new business. I had people saying that they manifested it, and I was like, I guess you did.
Yeah, we're here now.
Yeah. I had my grand opening while there was a festival going on the Susquehanna, so there were already a ton of people in there.
Was that around? Was that around Labor Day?
Yeah.
Like Capona? Was that Capona?
It was Capona.
Yeah. I always mess up which one's Arts Fest and which one's Capona. But
yes.
Arts Fest is spring, Capona's fall, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, so that's a perfect timing, like for planning, I guess, like, well, we're just going to do it when there's everyone in town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is what we did. And it was great. In the first hour that I was open was nonstop. Like,
oh, wow.
It was crazy. It was such a cool experience. And it was really affirming, like I opened up this business and I didn't have a business prior. This was totally brand new. So I had truly no idea if it was going to be successful.
A lot of questions in your mind. Probably,
yeah.
Am I going to get customers to come in? Are we going to do it? Like, is it going to resonate well with people in town or, people visiting? And it's great to have a first day like that. That's not as common when you first open your doors to have a rush like that.
Right. Yeah, it was incredible. And I have to highlight too, Harristown and the people who work for the Strawberry Square have been monumental with helping me. And the marketing that they did, the support that they've been giving to me, if it were anyone else, I don't know if I would have continued as a small business that had no prior experience. But they've truly made it a wonderful experience.
Well, and they have a duty, I guess, or a dual edge, I guess, to make sure that that's also working well for their customers, because you're their customer.
Yeah.
But they see a new business coming in, or they see something they can highlight, which will bring foot traffic into you, but then also bring foot traffic into all the other businesses that they're supporting.
Right.
So it's a mutually beneficial thing to make sure you're doing well and set up nicely, so that way the rest of everyone else that's associated with Strawberry Square or Harristown is also getting that foot traffic. And then you're benefiting it from the other way when they promote another new business whenever the next one comes in, because that's going to bring foot traffic past yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a cool setup that they have, like that. It when they promote one, it's promoting the whole group.
Yeah. It was actually pretty cool. There were like 3 businesses that opened up all within like about a month of each other.
Oh, that's cool.
And we've all been very connected, and that's been such a cool experience.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of Wake and Bake Cafe open. They're like across the Capitol. They have breakfast sandwiches and the best lattes and coffee beverages. But they opened up almost exactly a month before I did. And then I opened up at the end of August, and then another business on my street. It's an alcohol alternative bar called the Agape Elixir Bar. Opened up like almost exactly a month.
I've seen that one floating around on my social media. Like they're getting some attention at least. Yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah. So let's go back into your shop now though.
Yeah.
So you're opened up. What are you offering specifically? So I know you have the Plant Witch is in your name, but like, what's your product line, or what are your services that you're offering? I know I won't get to it yet. I was peeking around on your social media, so I have some questions on a couple of things, but just give us your breakdown of what's going on in your shop.
Yeah. So I've got mainly, the idea was houseplants in the beginning. So I have a wide selection of houseplants, and I plan to get even more as I get some more grow lights in there and get a little bit more set up. I have crystals and stones. I have tarot cards, incense, jewelry. I'd like to get some candles in there. I would love to start hosting some events. Specifically, I want to do bingos. Everybody loves bingo.
Yeah.
I love bingo.
It's easy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just fun. And like, I think it's so important to, especially during this time, to have a place to go and feel comfortable more than just necessarily like buying an object. So I really want to create experiences. I don't know if you've seen from our social media, but we have a piano that we thrifted and painted literally just using leftover paint from our house. And it works. And inside the Strawberry Square too is a music school, music and art school. So some of the students have come in and just like on their way out.
Just stop in and play.
Yeah, just like play a little piano. And it's so healing for them and for me.
Yeah. I love seeing, this is a completely side tangent. I love seeing those pianos in public places where there's like in Europe, whatever, there's like airports that just have a piano in the middle of it, or like a common area. And just some kids are just getting up there and they're pecking along at it. And then every now and then you get just an artist that comes by, a musician, and they just go crazy on it. And then all of a sudden this person gets, they go on a viral clip, and that's how I'm noticing them. But it is cool to see in a space like that where music just organically just happens.
I think it reminds us that we're human. Like we get so caught up. We're so busy. I don't think, we as humans have ever been this busy. We're meant to be able to answer emails and text messages and phone calls like
24/7.
24/7. Yeah. And we just forget to slow down. I got the idea of the piano from Lancaster City. There's pianos painted everywhere. And they're so beautiful. And you're right. Like people will just go up and start playing them. And it's just like, you have to make that conscious decision. Like you're on your day, you're busy, you're answering phone calls. But what if you just take like 5 minutes and go play a piano?
Yeah. It's almost like tapping into the idea of just be a kid again, or just be yourself, like in the moment.
Yeah.
And put everything out of your brain that's going on in the world, and just be there in the moment.
Yeah.
It's hard to do sometimes, especially as you get older, you have more responsibilities, you got work, kids, you're running a business, whatever is going on. It's hard to sometimes just put it down. And like you said, have that 5 minutes where you're like, I'm just going to listen to this guy jam out on his piano, or I'm going to jump on and play the piano.
How beautiful.
And like let go for 5 minutes. You have to resume it eventually.
Yeah.
But to take that break, you walk away feeling a little bit more refreshed too. Plus in your environment too, it also adds just a unique little flavor to Strawberry Square and to your shop specifically.
Yeah, I certainly think so.
Yeah. So what else? So you have houseplants, you have the tarot cards, you're doing incense, you have a bunch of products there. You're going to offer experiences.
Yes.
Now, the other one thing I have a question about is you had a social media post that was like a bunch of questions. And it was, I guess it was like, I don't know if they're FAQs you got or things that you're just trying to tell people like, hey, we don't care what background you have or what it is. Like if you're just coming in cause you want to plant, like we want to, this is not a real plant, by the way, but like if we were going to update this and I just said, hey, I'm just here for a house plant, I don't really know much about anything else. Like it seems like you're doing a good job or trying to break down those barriers where you're like, don't worry about if you don't know anything about all this other stuff. Like you're here for this. That's cool. Like we'll tell you everything you need to know about that. And if you learn something else while you're here, that's great. But like we'll cater to whatever your needs are. Yeah.
That has been like the center of all of this for me. It was originally just going to be the houseplants. And that was mainly because of my imposter syndrome. I felt like I wasn't deep enough into the spirituality, but I also had to think like, what does that even mean? Like your beliefs are so unique to you. And if you even want to believe in one thing one day and turn around and believe in something else the next day, that's not hurting anyone. So we have the stones, we have crystals, we have tarot cards, and people come in and sometimes they're very wary of those things. And usually that's just because you've never had a human experience talking to someone about it because it's scary.
Yeah.
And that's understandable. For me, everything is about intention, whether it's a crystal or a tarot card. I've done too when people buy them, especially when it's their first time. I do like a little introduction to your tarot deck. I actually had a couple weeks ago a girl who came in for her 12th birthday, and she, like, her birthday present was coming in and picking out a couple crystals and getting, I think, was her first tarot deck. And what we did was I shuffled them, and then I flipped to the 12th card, and I was like, you're 12. Like, what does this year have to bring to you? Like, what do you want to focus on this year? And it was such a magical experience.
Yeah.
For me, everything is about intention. I'm not super deep into like any specific pathway. And I think as long as your beliefs don't harm anybody else's existence is like what's important to me.
Yeah. And I'm sure you also see a lot of people that are, they come in and they don't know, like they're very green. Like they don't know anything about, like I'll be very straightforward. Like I would come in and not understand much about what you have in your shop. I might be coming in, like I said, for a plant.
Yeah.
But it seems like you have a knack for or ability to kind of break down that barrier. And if they are interested in learning about something new, or they are interested just in about talking about or asking questions about something, where you can introduce it to them in a way that's not intimidating. Like it's like, oh, hey, like, don't worry about that. We have, this is what this is.
Yeah.
And, take it for what it is. And it also is probably interesting too, because, and I'm going to come at this from the most elementary point of view, but like my interpretation of what you're explaining to me or what I get out of that might be completely different from the next customer that's coming in. So like it could simply even be something as simple as like, oh, I like that. Yeah. Like I like the color of that stone. I'm going to get that. Like, whatever. I want it on my desk.
Yeah.
And it could mean something completely different for me than what the next person that comes in and gets something else from them, because it just has a deeper significance to them. Or, I'm just using it for like, oh, I like looking at it. It's pretty. Right. You can explain to me the properties of it and I learn something out of it too.
Yeah.
But it's neat because it seems like you're not worried about what people believe that does for them.
It's so interesting that you say that.
Does that make sense? Hopefully
Absolutely.
that makes sense. Yeah.
It's so interesting that you say that. Also, that's like the best thing you could have said to me. But my process when people come in asking about the stones, especially when they don't know them, like I had someone come in and say, what's going to help with like relieving anxiety or like helping me be calm? And I said, well, what color makes you feel calm? And that probably has like never been asked to them before, especially like in this context, because we have all these crystals and they do have metaphysical properties, even based on like where they're derived from, like geologically. But for me, everything's about intention. Like if you hate the color blue, then it's not gonna make you feel calm. Right. You know what I mean?
So can I ask, is it like part psychological? So I will never get, we're just gonna make a hypothetical.
Yeah.
I don't hate red, but if I hate red, whatever, I don't like the color red. No matter what other people feel or get or whatever's invoked from that stone or that crystal or anything, a piece of art that has a lot of red in it, I'm just not going to enjoy that being around me at all. Right. So some of it probably is just a psychological thing. Like you said, you can guide someone into something completely different. Like Joe might be more attracted to that red crystal than I would be. Yeah. Just because, he loves red and I'm like, I can't stand red. My favorite, whatever, I got beat in high school by a team that was red, and I've held that against them red my whole life. But that's silly, but that's what it is. It's a deeper thing. Like, well, blue brings me joy, so you're going to guide me towards blue things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think especially now with the access to social media and websites and a million different resources that'll tell you a million different things all about the same exact thing. Yeah. We feel like any subject, there's these set of rules that you have to follow. And I just simply don't believe that. I just simply don't believe that when it comes to almost anything. So yeah, you're absolutely correct. It's going to mean what it means to you. And that's all that really matters.
Yeah. We see that you were talking about like sets of rules when this is like an age old thing, but like in marketing, there's this, you can find it if you Google it, but there's a color chart for brand colors. It's like, oh, orange brings out this emotion and blue brings out this emotion and whatever. If you're doing like a new logo or you're building a brand. And it's funny because you'll see things in there like, well, don't put red in your logo because red is anger and red is whatever. But then you have brands, like big brands. We'll just use, I don't know, we'll use Coca-Cola for an example. Like, obviously people aren't angry, or it's not invoking an angry emotion when people buy a product from Coca-Cola because their whole brand is red. So it's kind of, you have to take those rules you find like on social media, whether it's for something that you're doing or it's just something in general for marketing or for your business or yourself. Like, well, I don't, that doesn't apply to me. So why should I listen to that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've had so many suggestions too, and a lot of them have been fantastic. But also some of them I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. And I tried it and then like nobody liked it at all.
As far as like what you're doing in your business?
Yeah.
Well, you have to do it this way. Well, that's not working.
Yeah. Especially as somebody who is brand new to all of this. Like I've never even really been in a retail atmosphere. So that
might be better though, because like and this is just like in general, whether it's a hobby or a business or whatever you're doing, like if you're getting into something new, sometimes it's better to not take advice from like old guard business. Because like, well, just because it worked for you doesn't mean it's going to work for me. And maybe I'm going to figure out something that is newer or a newer idea that changes the way that we operate our business and actually is more positive. So like, just because it's been the way that it's been like that for forever, like that was just how you do it. Like that doesn't mean it's the best way. It just means that's the way that everyone's doing it right now.
I love that. Yeah.
What's coming next though for your business? So you're opened up. I shouldn't say next because you're like, you've not been, I'm hitting you with a question after you've been open like 2 months. But what do you see just being the next evolution of what you want to do? Because I know once you're open, that starts the perpetual wheel of like, well, what do I have to do next? Like, what do you see yourself offering next or doing next? Like you said, experiences or something else that you would just like to institute at your location?
Yes. Events. I want to start hosting events. The bingos are one. That's one that I really just think will be fun. I want to do pot painting events. So like some of the clay pots that I've thrifted, I would love it if we all just got together and like had a moment to paint them. Or for people too who are nervous about some of the metaphysical stuff, like I think it would be really cool if we started with like self-love spells. Everybody is so hard on themselves all the time. And you can call it witchcraft. That's fine. People have come in and be like, are you a witch? Are you the plant witch? I actually love that question. It's actually people have found me in public and be like, are you the plant witch? And I'm like, I am the plant witch. But yeah, I think it would be cool if we did something where like we had pink candles and, you know, we said a couple positive affirmations about ourselves and just like being kind to ourselves, picked out a couple stones that really resonate with us and like did that all together. I have some friends that are incredibly talented with art. So I'm hoping to host like wood burning events possibly, or candle making all together. Just like all sorts of different stuff.
And the more I hear you talk about this, and we kind of hit on it earlier, it's not even as much, I mean, as much as you would like to get everyone into your shop, like you want everyone to come into your shop, it's not much different than what people in like, I'm going to use a business setting because Harrisburg it's a big, there's a lot of there's a couple of banks down the street from you guys. There's a bunch of big businesses and even, you know, like I said, government workers. Like those people are reading and consuming podcasts or reading books on like self-help or business information, like business help. But in a lot of those books, there's a lot of talk about like, how do you deal with imposter syndrome? How are you dealing with positive affirmation to yourself? And that's in itself is not much different than what you're doing. It's just, I feel like people that are in a professional setting are more inclined to be like, well, I know that author, I'm going to pick up that book because he's a successful business person. And he's telling them the same positive affirmations. Like the summary of a lot of those books is like, get out of your own head.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up, be positive to yourself. Here's someone that did it. Here's how you can do it. Some examples. Not much. Sorry, Cody, I bumped the mic. There's not much different in that from what you're doing, because you're just getting everyone to the ground like level of just saying like, hey, just be nice to yourself.
Yeah.
Here's how we're going to teach you to learn to do some positive affirmations. Like Cody's going to hate on me. We'll just start from scratch on that one statement. That's not much different than what you're doing from what people already are seeking in like the mainstream self-help section of like your Barnes and Nobles or whatever. Like it's the core of those things are almost the same.
I love that. I think too, like we can read all the things. You can read 100 books on self-help.
But will you do
it? But will you do it?
Right.
Yeah. And that's what I hope to be. That's what I aim to be, is a place for you to slow down. Like you've done it. You know what you have to do. You know what you need. Now let's implement it. Like, you know that you need to just talk more kindly to yourself. You know that you need to just slow down and be present in the moment. Now let's pick out a physical item that will remind you of that every day, whether that's a sticker, a candle, like you smell, like let's get back into our senses. I hold this item, it brings me joy. I look at my plant, I see new growth, and I'm reminded of the new growth in my life.
Yeah, you're taking care of it.
Yeah.
You're the sole responsibility for keeping that plant alive, but then you see it thriving, and you're like, I did that.
Yeah.
Like there is a pride in very simple things that you do repeatedly. Like it starts to build a foundation up for just being more positive to other people or yourself. So, and if that kind of brings people into more of what you can offer, then great. Like you've just transformed that person and the way they think about themselves and other people. And if it's just enough to get them out of a tough spot, then great too. You help them, with whatever point they were at when they come in. Like it's pretty cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That is the dream.
Yeah. What is the best way for people to find you, to get in touch with you? I know you have your Facebook page.
Yes.
Instagram.
Yes.
If there's any other way for people to get in touch with you or find out about your shop, we'll put it in the show notes, but just kind of give us a rundown on that.
So I'm working on a website.
Okay.
I also have my email. It's just theplantwitchhbg@gmail.com.
Okay.
We're able to take calls on Meta now too.
Oh yeah, that's a whole new thing for business. On the business side, it's cool.
But I will answer DMs. I said specifically too with plants. Like if you have a question about it, just send me a picture and I'll do my best to try to
what's
answer
wrong
it.
with this?
Yeah. I would love to get like a cabinet for sick plants too, to be able to nurse them back to health.
It could be like the ER for plants.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Actually, I've had people like come even before I was open, like outside my shop, and been like with a plant and been like, "Can you tell me what's wrong with this?" And like, "Yeah, I'll do my best."
Yeah.
But yes, right now the best way to get in contact with me is sending me a message on Facebook or Instagram.
Okay. Or call on Facebook.
Yeah, that's crazy, but
now one last question came to mind. When you were younger or whatever, did you always have like a green thumb, or like were you always able to just like work with plants? Like some people just have a green thumb. Like I'm good with plants. Like I'll figure this out. I'll fix it, or I can just start something from anything.
No,
okay.
I did not always have a green thumb. I think if anything, when I was young, I was always very in touch with my intuition.
Okay.
I always had a higher level of awareness, and I think that is the forefront of my business.
Okay.
Is just like being in touch with yourself. Plants are going to die sometimes. It just happens.
Right.
It's devastating when it happens. But it's a learning process. Like so many people have come in and been like, well, I can't keep a plant alive. And it's like, you can.
Yeah.
You can and you will if you want to.
Yeah. They're not that complicated. Like they can be, but it depends on what type of plant. Some plants will grow in anything, I swear. Like
water. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I meant like some plants. What's that? My mom had like a spider plant. Mm-hmm. Those ones that just go crazy. I don't think you could kill that plant. Like that thing it just kept growing and kept spreading. But then there's other ones that are just more finicky.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of also what you select. But I just had to know if like, oh, I've always had a green thumb, so I just wanted to try this, or
I've been told that I did, but I didn't believe it. But now I own a plant shop, so
kind of have to now.
Yeah, kind of have to now.
Well, thank you for coming on and sharing your story. If you guys are interested in finding out more about your business, we'll have all the show links and emails and all the contact information in the show notes. So thank you for sharing your story.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.